Alright guys, here we are for another online episode. Today we're talking about 1990s Captain America. And we're joined by a very special guest. John! John the host, tell them, where can they find you?
The Cult of Films. Woo!
Correct.
And your mother's house.
Twice on Sundays.
Alright, so John, had you seen this before?
I have. It's been a while. It's been a while because I, like a lot of people, got fooled. And I saw the movie poster in the theater, and it looked like Batman. And then it came out, and it was directed by Albert Pune. And I was like, holy shit, this ain't Batman.
Congratulations.
It is Batman. You were so happy. You're like, oh
Before
my God.
I even ask Lee if he's seen it, I'm going to say I liked this better than Batman as a kid.
Whoa.
This was one of my go-to movies. This movie
Really?
made me proud to be an American.
She didn't know much about camouflage. Nope. But she sure did love the red, white, and blue.
And after that, I'm going to say, Lee, you've seen this.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No, it's funny because I do not hate it as much as you think I do. You like this movie a lot, and I'm like, you're crazy. What are you talking about? This is an old bad thing that I barely remembered or whatever. It is bad, but it's got like a structure, it has things in it where I was like, this is not the worst thing ever. It is bad though. I should emphasize that. So
It's certainly made on a budget. At some points, no budget, but it is nostalgic.
It's all you love and know. It's Cannibal Video.
And we're going to
$3
talk about
million
it.
bucks. $3 million bucks. Look what they accomplished with $3 million bucks.
It has a lot of stuff in it that does not like need to be there necessarily, which I appreciated, and it's a wonderful little marvel. A little piece of
pun?
something that you can stick in there or like whatever. I'll get more into it later, I guess, but I think I appreciated it more now having known where they go with this, and there's certain imagery and certain scenes and things where I'm like, oh, it'd be 20 years or 30 years before anyone actually saw this in a movie. So fuck. All right, I guess I can feel differently about it. But watching it now, I'm like, oh, garbage. No. I've seen all this much better with Chris Evans and stuff like that.
Yes,
right?
I think you can't watch this thinking about
Like,
anything now. It's a matter of just,
Like, in other words,
watching it from like in 1990. This was
that's- yeah.
amazing.
That's all it is, though. Now it's been like replaced, like no, like you never go back. Oh, they were onto something. Like you're not going to do that one like you would with some other stuff or whatever. It's
No.
However, besides the on par silly costume that Burton Batman 1989 Burton Batman
comic
and
book
this-
accurate costume, you mean?
Well, this was, those two
couldn't
things
even
are goofy. However, Burton Batman still holds up, even with the Nolan Batmans and whatever other Batmans came out subsequently since then, where this one plays as a good bad movie.
Yes, I will say it is a totally different tier. Well, yes, Burton Batman is still a movie, and you're like, okay,
Right.
this is a film. It is a different type of film, but it is still a film. While this, no one would mistake for a film. This is a movie, and that's what's so good about it. So let's just jump right into the spoilers, guys. So if you've seen it or don't care, follow us over there, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of Captain America. So I'll let you start here, John. Let me hear them spoiler-filled thoughts, the good, the bad, the nitty-gritty.
Wow. I mean, I just caveated this film with, this has a way different vibe from Batman 89. Batman 89 is still a vibe. It's still when Tim Burton was good. This was an Albert Pune film, and it feels very much like a tuned-up Albert Pune film. This is not a doll man. It's not an arcade. It's not even a cyborg. But it does have that, like, weird, under budget type vibe to it with a character that you know and love.
Are you kidding? I'm not bailing out on Captain America. Let's go.
But this movie, unlike, I think, other bad movies or whatever of its time, starts out with a literal bang. I mean, this is this movie starts out darker than any of the Burton Batmans or even the subsequent Batmans.
Con che diritto invade la mia casa? Fuoco!
We get full-on murders. We get RoboCop squibs. We get just killing people, torturing kids, deforming kids, animal torture. It has it all. And this is in your MCU or pre-MCU film. So if it kept that tone, and if it really held on to that, I think this could have been something special. But of course, with this kind of an IP, I think they were really telling him to kind of pump the brakes on what his vision of this movie could have been.
I hear they cut 14 minutes from the director's version of this movie, but it wasn't like action and horror and effects and stuff. It was like story. Like there was supposed to be more of a realization of the Steve Rogers character and what it means to be a hero, and that he was always this, guy. It wasn't about the serum, etc. And I think that's kind of fun. And they have released that director's cut, so that is something that's available. This is not that.
Simplify it.
This was, I bought this at a horror convention 20 years ago on DVD. Because at the time, this was not something you could buy. It was just something that I remembered watching on Channel 11 all the time as a kid.
But saving the world left him trapped in an icy grave until fate released him to finish a battle started decades ago.
And was happy to get it.
Now that adds to the time capsule-ness, because I don't really have nostalgia necessarily, but the time capsule aspect because it has the VCR scan lines on the copy that we watched at least, right? So it made me feel oh yeah, it's in the thing or whatever. So I had seen this as a kid, but I just had this vague memory of now that we're in spoilers, I can say a guy being like, "Pull over, I have to puke."
Please pull over the car. I am going to get sick.
And being like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, who? I'm like, what is Captain? Because I was not a comic book kid, but I was just like, this motherfucker sucks. He's got a corny ass name. He's got stupid. His eyes are too far apart.
What do you want me to do? Eat dirt?
And his big move is I'm gonna vomit. Let me trick this old guy. What are you doing?
His eyes are not too far apart. His mask is too far apart.
I know. Put up a picture of Sid, the sloth from Ice Age, right now, wearing the mask.
I wonder the mask was altered early in production, and I wonder if that fucked with the eye spacing. Originally, his ears were not those fake, rubber ears that were stuck on there, but it was cutting into his fucking head, the material. So they just, did that. And you can even see little glue patches where I think they modified the, the mask.
Wait on the North Shore. There's some caves there at the base of the cliff where you can hide. I'll come and get you when we get out.
And I wonder if doing that, pulled it apart and fucked his eyes a bit.
I knew about the ears for the first time during this rewatch, and I'm like, that's crazy. It's probably in 2 scenes. You probably can't even notice it, but there's all these scenes, and I'm just looking. I'm like, are those your ears? But yeah, around them you can see it looks like someone made a cake with the fondant of an ear, but there's that cut in the blue where it's ripply, where they did something around there. You can tell there's something happening, and I'm like, oh no.
It was
I think they are a mold of his actual ears, though, because they look like his ears. He has weird ears.
They would win the cake show, definitely. This is amazing. What are you doing?
It's that uncanny valley type deal. But it was before comic book movies figured out comic book accurate isn't always the way, right? You take liberties and you make Captain America's helmet kind of like a warrior's or a soldier's helmet, like they did later on.
Au revoir.
And it's just okay, if it doesn't look 100% accurate and you actually make it look even cooler or whatever, the fans don't care as much as if this and Batman, Michael Keaton Batman, where he can't even move his fucking neck. It's just so goofy now, and it takes you out of and that's a good movie. And this is a decent movie. Like I said, I feel like it loses steam as it goes, but these are decent movies. But the whole time, watching this in 2023, you're just critiquing the costume most of the time. Blessedly, I think they kind of knew that too, how silly this was. And he's only in the costume for a grand total of maybe 17 minutes runtime.
Well, they filmed this in the summer, and that's a brutally thick and unforgiving material. They said he lost 20-something pounds during the course of filming.
The first day. just sweated.
I think from heat exhaustion alone, just losing all of his liquid. So I understand why they use as little as possible. And on top of that, when he is wearing it, sometimes he's also wearing a heavy overcoat. You're like, oh, come on, you poor bastard.
There was a scene, he's hitchhiking / just hustling across the whole country wearing this. He looks like a bounty hunter from Critters. He looks
like the Punisher almost.
Good business, murder.
In this long trench coat with his Captain America thing under it, but no mask, and he just has this he's in he plays cymbals in the band. He has this giant carrying case. For his shield and ba-dung, da-dung, da-dung, carrying around. He's like, I gotta get home to Beatrice. He's
more than once
crazy.
he finds something that holds his shield, because when it starts, the army gives him something, but he doesn't have that later. He loses that, and then he steals our boy's car the first time with his puke technique, and he's like, all right, and he steals some bag from him that perfectly fits his thing, and then later on, there's a different color bag, I want to say, that is also holding it perfectly. Yeah. Oh my God.
Now, it's not all bad as far as costumes go, because I know that there's a debate on how they did the Red Skull, and I think it was not only really well done in the full-on Red Skull in the beginning, but also because this takes place over a regular Captain America story would, it takes place back in World War II, and then it also takes place in modern day as far as when this was shot. But they have the Red Skull, they explain through exposition off screen, he has gone through all this plastic surgery, and I thought that was a cool idea, and I actually liked his look even more post-op.
You saw him, and you let him get away.
Then when he came out as just a thing of ground beef.
Did he remind you of anybody once he had the plastic surgery?
Oh my God. You know what? It was bothering me the whole time on the rewatch.
Because
I know you're going to say it.
Picture the mobster from The Mask when he's wearing the mask.
I'm just an ex-employee who's come for his back pay. Or should I say paid back?
He looks like a Dick Tracy character, but
the original prosthetic that he's wearing as the Red Skull, I think looks great. I actually think these B tier, Marvel movies kind of nailed that stuff. Like The Thing and the Fantastic Four,
Corman
the original
one,
looked great too. Where I was like,
look at me!
that's almost unparalleled for a while. They're
Human Torch, not so much,
and creepier. There's something about them where doing it on a budget almost makes it better. Because there's a thing where it's there's a period where CG and stuff is obviously good, but there's a limit, and you're like, okay, I'm spending a lot of money. There's a lot of mileage that you have to get out of this. But with a prosthetic, the more you use it, it almost looks crinklier and worse. That rat is fucking terrifying.
So good.
If it had been 10 years later, they would have been like, oh, we have some boys on their computers. They can make part of his face missing. Let's do a hole in his face.
Yeah.
Look at I got.
And you're like, this sucks. Everything sucks. What are you doing? But yeah, they film him in the dark, and it's wet, and his eyes are cold, dead eyes, like weird cataract looking burned eyes and shit. And the rat sets you up too, where you're like, wait, if he's, and then you're, oh no, and he's like, I'm the Red Skull, bitch. It's great.
The issue, I think, is that they play up that that's gonna double his strength and his intelligence, and he's already a brilliant person. They say take the brilliant boy, la 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 la. But that child is a child. He's very young. How old would you say young Red Skull is when he's kidnapped?
12.
That's
11?
my guess was 12. So when he fights the Red Skull later, that's only 7 years later. He's still fighting a teenager.
Yeah, and he acts like it. whole
But that
time.
teenager says something like, "You young man, stupid idiot," and I'm like, "What is this? The Twilight Zone?" That guy's like 38 years old.
You remain a poor choice, little brother.
Hello,
No,
little brother. Yeah.
I just disregarded every time because they had the audacity to be like, the year is this. It's been this long, dude. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. No, it doesn't matter at all. Oh my god, yeah, because it's like 6 months later, 7 years later, and at one point they're like 7 years later, 1943, just to be like, okay, fuck, I don't know if that's gonna make sense, but it's 1943. Just remember that Nazis. Okay, cool, and they do whatever they do. But I imagine if you tried to figure out like, wait, Alaska and how long and what's happening, it would make even less sense, right? Wouldn't.
I love when the guy looks at what's clearly a man in ice. His hand is even sticking out. He goes, "What the hell is this?"
What the hell is this thing?
Yeah.
What kind of movie are we in? Is there like a thing up here? What
Right,
is it?
yeah. I thought it was an homage to the Thing almost. Like, because
Yeah.
it was like they brought him to the tent. It's like Kurt Russell and a bunch of his, other people like sitting there. And then he just unthaws and just gets up and bye.
And then he said, "Daddy's got to go to work," and he cracks out of the ice himself.
That guy's ready with his little not Polaroid, his camera.
Yeah,
Which I'm
yeah.
like, why would that have been around your like neck? You're in Alaska. Like,
They had the prop from when the kid took the picture of a rocket going.
Oh,
that never made sense to me as a kid. I'm like, he's using some sort of like one
You don't
step
say.
above a disposable camera,
Yeah.
and somehow he is zooming into a rocket that is launching, and he can see,
In
and
high
not only
def.
that, but at night
Yeah.
he can get a picture and see the fucking A on his head.
Not even the camera, but
Look, the
Captain
serial
America's
number,
just like, you were the kid. Like later
Yeah.
on when they meet up,
He's
oh, you
strapped
were
to
him.
the top of the rocket facing up, and he's like, "You were that kid?"
You were the little boy?
You were the boy?
This implies that he was
So
going to just accept his fate.
Yeah.
But then he saw a kid and was like, "Wait a minute, kids! And I have to divert this missile." And it always stuck with.
He took that to the last fucking second. He's kicking that fin up until it's like
Yeah.
a football field away from the actual president.
The White House, yeah.
Actually,
part-
two
Up
presidents,
and, like,
because
hits the
one future
Independence Day
president.
ship that's like above
Right.
the White House still. It's like both happening at the same time.
And and forgive my knowledge, audience, more so about my MC or my comic book knowledge or whatever. But the Red Skull, he was always German, right? Like I think this was just a switch
Tell me.
into
Yeah,
him
there's a
being
couple
Italian
of
in
things
this.
here. The Red Skull is not part of the Captain America's origin story.
Yeah.
Comic book wise, I know we've changed some things, in the past
Yeah.
here and new Chris Evans movies and stuff.
That reminded me of how sometimes they have like the Joker killing Batman's parents or something, right? Where they're like, there's 3 guys in the whole world. I don't know, fuck, and they have to like make their movie, right?
But
Well, speaking
why
of
why
three
does
guys
it
in the whole world, we have literally that.
Why
The
does
boy
it
then
matter?
becomes the president. His boy is
Yeah.
Jimmy Olsen or whatever.
Just go run your goddamn country. I'm a little busy here. I gotta go up in the attic, get my long johns.
What does it add to his character that he's Italian in this though instead of
Because they had
they knew
that,
later on they were going to shoot in Italy because it was cheaper?
Yeah. They had that like Tuscany villa that they were about to tear
Yeah.
down or something. I'm making this up, but just for the sake of argument, let's
Yeah.
say, and there's a piano on the roof where the helicopter pad should be. It's glorious. Okay, cool. And we have how long? 2 weeks? All right, let's go. You're Italian, bitch.
You're
Put on a
Italian.
nice suit. Let's go.
Yeah.
It
call him
fit.
Mussolini.
Something about his face too. I'm like, he is an Italian.
He did
douchebag.
look like an Italian mobster
don't know
guy.
why.
Like, yeah, I was in. The best casting, so that I have thought up until today when I looked at it,
Was Ned Beatty.
I always thought that the young version of the reporter, I'm like, that is the perfect casting.
It's okay. See, just gotta figure out who it was. Did he have a trident?
It looks just like him.
It's very important that I find Captain America as soon as possible.
I don't know who you are, but I'm not interested in anything you're saying.
Listen, please, I'm on your side.
It's his son in real life.
Oh, no shit.
I thought they got the kids from the Explorers. It was like the same fucking
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And then he grows up and he's just like, I'm a Pokemon that evolved into a bigger version of myself. Hold on, pal, I'm doing the news now. And I'm like, because like in the flashback, it's like, this will make a great thing for this, for the school paper. Like it's just like linear storytelling, very good. Yeah.
Well, and that like,
Right
oh,
on
I
the page.
carried this photo in my wallet my whole life. I've carried this
carried
Dakota
this-
ring my whole life.
Sam wanted me to give this to you. It was the last thing he said before he died.
Yes, exactly. That day changed everyone's life. Not
It's
just
Ronnie
Captain
fucking
America.
Cox though. Like let's pay our respect because Ronnie Cox is the fucking man.
All
He's
I
the
heard was
president.
Cox, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? The president, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
he
he
was
was
good.
RoboCop and or not RoboCop, but he was in Total Recall and stuff. But he was actually like he's usually typecast as like he's like a Michael Ironside type, right? He's usually a bad guy. In this, he gets to like he kicks as much ass as Steve Rogers at the end of this. Like
I
he's
believe-
punching people in the face.
I
Almost
believe he's
to a fault.
He's the main. He's the main character. He's just there. Captain America's just there helping him. When he runs up, like, okay, I brought commandos, and he's like, okay. Thanks.
There's so much ass kickery from the president, and just like him pocketing that little bit of acid and spilling in the lock.
Sure.
He kicks it a few times. Ah, fuck, it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
Then he goes, wait a minute, I'm an American president. And he does the exact same thing again, and it does work.
He hides behind a cupboard, and the Nazis are like, "Where'd he go?" And he runs out the door.
The best hide behind nothing is the girl, like what's her face's daughter, is like it's a spiral staircase, and she's just like up against the wall, and like, you know, Mussolini lady walks past and she's like, hello, and like hits her. You're like, wait, what the fuck? What were you hiding behind? Were you like this? Like
I can't see.
I love like Italian evil foxy Charlie's Angels though. They just added so much. But it was like two girls and a guy for this one. Yeah.
In my notes, I'm like, sexy helicopter pilots. Sexy assassins.
Absolutely.
He throws a picnic table at some sexy, French ladies, whatever, and like, I was like, yeah, it was very funny, but that's a good tropey thing. We're gonna femme fatale him over here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We were all as a society on Han Solo for shooting first, but Captain America shoots first in this one. They're
Ladies,
just,
too.
They're just people riding their bikes. They're out for a Saturday jaunt, and he's like, like, they didn't open fire before that. He honestly didn't really know they were chasing him. He was just some guy running in the woods. They were just driving in the woods.
I'm saying.
And then he escalated things internationally. He was in Canada at the time.
It was an incident.
Can I say the biggest dickish thing he did though? He did the "oops, I'm sick" trick.
Sharon, could you pull over for a minute? I think I'm gonna be sick.
On his past lover's daughter, who just lost her mom 2 days ago. Like he
That
is
was
such
for
an
her
asshole.
own good. I would
No, he's
say
a
that
dick.
that is arguably for her own good. He was trying to not include her in danger. He's like, listen, I've killed your whole family almost. I'm going to let you out on this. But the guy, I felt bad for that one because that guy did literally nothing but try to help him and died for it.
Okay, Sam.
He's interested. Our manual CPR. Look at the paddle.
It's weird actually how much he dies instead, because it isn't like he's his old friend that he's like, give him help. He's like, who the fuck are you? Literally, and like he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah,
you're the guy my friend told me about. You're the Rocket Man from 20 whatever 30 40 years ago. How long is it? 80 years ago?
40.
I love the unintentional. Like this movie had some of the best unintentional comedy. Just him. Well, I mean, him just walking around like the fish out of water stuff is great.
Movies didn't come in little black boxes, and you couldn't check them out of the library.
him walking on the beach, checking out that girl's ass. Is like one of my favorite scenes ever.
He's like, do I arrest her? What am I supposed to do?
This is like, what the? And it's like playing with like some like meaningful, like, you know, heartfelt music, like I'm just getting back on the horse type shit.
That
and then
song was in my head.
I'm all alone in a cold world. It's hard, but I'm still trying.
I was singing along.
There's a few montage bangers where like the chorus of the montage song is like, "You're going to Italy." It has like a fucking like on
You're
the
looking
nose
for
quality.
a diary of an escaped Italian scientist.
Yeah. It's so
How does this
good.
song exist?
Literal wink at the camera at the end. It's just, you know, all
Why
but a
did he
freeze
know
frame.
where her diary was?
She would have known what his name was before. She's got some papers or a diary. Would you know where she would have left them?
Why did he even know she had a diary?
Dr. Vaselli's diaries.
If she did have a diary and he did know where it was, why would it still be in that drawer?
Vaselli's diary.
Got it.
Why
But
would putting down two coat hooks on a coat rack open up a secret thing? Is it impossible that two people could have hung up their coats and possibly seen Captain America get made?
No, that's genius because no one ever hangs up their coats. And the guy's like, "We're gonna hang up our coats," and she's like, "Whatever." And then
Her
he goes,
having the gun
"Dee-dee,"
didn't even make
does the
sense to
thing.
me.
How's the pot roast today, Roz?
Oh, about as good as it was yesterday.
Well, we'll just hang up our coats.
Do whatever you want with him, mister.
No.
Well, because if he gets the passphrase wrong, she has to light him up. I understand
But
that.
it is
But
an
when they-
active, open diner.
So
Like,
good.
America's
Nobody
ass.
ever goes to hang their coats. This is the 30s. Everybody
No,
has a
there's
hat and
little-
coat.
It's a little nook over there. There's no coats. That's just fake. You put
There
your
was
coat on the
also
back of your
no one in
chair
the restaurant.
like a normal- exactly. Triple X would have clocked that immediately.
Her. My aunt was in the restaurant business all her life. There's no way in hell a career waitress comes to work in high heels.
It's all weird. It's wonky.
Them blisters the size of pancakes before lunch.
Physics books. That's way too advanced for her. What's going on there?
Why
No,
did
but
little
then-
Penny have to die?
She about to start some shit, Zed. She's about 8 years old. Those books are way too advanced for her. If you ask me, I say she's up to something.
when they come back in the present day and he breaks through it.
So
it was
good.
like it was like they went to like Superman's like cave of mystery or whatever they call it, because it's all dark and weirdly lit and there's the Fortress of Solitude. It had that vibe from that old Superman. They're there.
There
it's
was
like
a
lit from
duct
above.
that he throws a man into that goes to the center of the earth.
You never hear him splat. You just That's your hero, ladies and gentlemen.
He killed
Dude just
that man.
fucking kills people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have
He's
the same
boss.
Batman code.
He gets
Yeah,
shot multiple times, still
Yeah.
doesn't save the scientist. Then gets up in his gown. Where do you need me to go?
Where did you say that launch site was?
I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, America. Red, white, and blue, bitch.
I'm glad you mentioned that scene, because that scene out of context, because no one would know that's Captain America or what movie it is or what's happening, and he looks so like weirdly out of place. He looks like the bully from that meme where Sean Astin's looking at the girl and then the guy slides over and goes like, no.
Walking on, all of this was under ice at some point, so I guess finding something frozen, dug up here or there.
He looks like that guy who's like, where do you need me? All like wooden and weird, because you wouldn't know like he's hurt or what's going on. It's so crazy because it's like, yeah, he's like, I'm going, and it's like, this guy's a goddamn American, and then it like cuts like.
Let's just wind back a little further.
Yeah.
Here. So we're about to inject somebody with a super serum days before we literally need them to save the Earth, and their thing is like, it can take somebody with polio and make them a superstar athlete.
So this process can take a frail boy with polio, give him the strength and speed of a world-class athlete.
And I'm like, why not start with a superstar athlete and make them a god? They have to
No, that
save
gives
the
them
Earth.
polio, though.
Why are
You
you
can't do
taking
that.
this
Right,
boy
yeah,
with
yeah,
a
it's
limp?
reversed. Yeah.
You go right into an iron lung at that point.
But Stefan, how did we know that Steve Rogers in this film had polio?
Hello, Steve.
Dr. Vizelli?
He had a slight limp, John.
Slightly.
He was still very beefy looking.
He had a
though.
crip walk. It wasn't even a limp. It was like he might have just been.
It was a leg
cool.
drag.
He takes 3 steps and then limp. And that's the only.
That's
mention.
the polio explanation.
Aside from that, it could have easily been the beginning to Apollo 13. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, we're going on a trip tomorrow. When we're in the wide shot, we can't tell you have a problem. And then he's limping. I love that his girlfriend's not even at his going away party. He's like, wait, where's blah blah? This is the end of the party. They're coming to get you any minute. You didn't notice she wasn't there all day? Not a good boyfriend.
Where is she? Just a minute, Russ. Sorry, everybody. We can't do this without Bernie.
Well, you can tell he's not a good boyfriend because it's been like a week for him, but he doesn't even. He thinks her daughter is her. That's crazy. There's nothing.
They're not even played by the same person. Like,
No.
you think, like, oh, I get it. That's going to be oh, it's not the same person at all.
No.
Are you saying the daughter and the mom?
Yeah.
They are the same person. That's the
They're
same
not the
actress.
same person.
I swear to God.
You know this guy? Yes, I do.
It's the same actress. Yes. Plays the
was
same.
wrong.
Same role. Same role. It's Sharon and Bernice. Kim Gillingham.
Really?
I think. Yes, I swear to God.
Movie
Yeah,
magic.
they
Did
do the old lady
add
makeup
or
and
remove
then
that mole?
If I'd have taken him out, none of this would have happened.
it's the same gal. Yeah, same
I
one that
refuse
he's
to
in love
believe
with is the daughter, which makes it extra creepy. Well, I guess
Well,
we
no,
could-
that would make it less creepy, John. They're the same person.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. Reincarnation before the other one's dead.
Because otherwise, it's creepy. Like, I guess you're my new wife.
You're right.
Like, what's going on?
Well, she's
Well,
dead,
it
so
is.
you're up. Yeah.
Naturally.
Matt, I mean, I have to say that I love the casting of Matt Salinger, who is J.D. Salinger's son in real life. Yeah, Matt Salinger as Steve Rogers. He looks the part.
I'm not gonna blow it this time.
I'm not saying he always got the job done, but I think he did the best with what the script kind of gave him.
I remember
looked like
seeing
Captain
something
America.
Where Ronnie Cox, was it Ronnie Cox, I think? I think
The
Ronnie
president,
Cox
yeah.
said that this was the best script he had ever read.
Oh, my
But they
God.
changed it. He's like, how they fucked that up, I'll never understand.
But can we afford not to take it? I don't think so.
Like, apparently it was so fucking good.
I laughed. I cried.
Yeah.
I have to puke. Can you pull over?
Because he
It's
read
genius.
the first 20 minutes and how it was like dark and gritty and oh my God, we're killing people like it's fucking RoboCop, and he's just like, this feels like a Verhoeven film, and then they put a fucking kibosh to that in the dailies that are just like, we gotta like
But you
spruce
can
this up
kind
a
of
little
see
bit.
if you drop in those little parts that are really awesome, and you're like, yeah, if you linked all those together with more awesome, this would probably be crazy.
This would be a great
Yeah,
film.
because like I'm an old man now, so like the parts that I like are the All the President's Men parts, where it's like we're looking into this, we're doing that, or he's trying to escape, or we're contact. Oh, the general's on the other side is betraying you. Like all those little bits, I was like, oh, there's actually a story here. I thought he was just captaining all over the place. But you mentioned the intro. I just want to quickly say that was another thing that's been overridden because we got Magneto at the concentration camp, like bending the like the gate and stuff. So if I want like a gritty origin story in World War II, whatever it is, I my brain just like it just pops that one in, and this one's gone now. It's like, oh no,
This is pretty good though. This is they do a
well,
lot.
for 20 years that would have been like all you had. So I'm like, oh shit, I get it.
But
now
they
more,
set the
so-
tone, and then they forget the tone like halfway through.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah, they
get
have Steve
your,
being too goofy. Yeah.
your hero introduction with him just like weirdly staring at his own mother sitting on a fucking counter in the kitchen. They're not even saying anything. It's just like, wait, where was the movie I just put in? Because this is not it.
Well, they were trying to do the cold open where you see like, oh, this is awesome, but they're just like, it just becomes bookends where you start in one place and then the entire movie involves Alaska and rockets and like stuff, and then you go all the way back to where you started, where they like finish their fight, where it's like you're just punching each other in like a giant empty room again. I don't like what you're doing.
It never comes back to that tone though. He's like, from the moment we see Red Skull as Red Skull, he is just there to give one-liners.
So easily deactivated. But don't worry, next time we'll have it made in Japan.
And I'm just like, what? Like, he's
And
just...
sometimes you can't even hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
He has such a mumbly, like, mushmouth accent. It might be the prosthetics, might be the guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a condition.
The fame of my art is on the table. Am I saying right, American? I want good English to speak.
Whatever.
A bad actor. It's a condition.
We can't.
It was the
blame
best
an
Prague
actor
had to offer.
for
I'll have
acting.
you
That's
know.
true.
That's crazy.
The
Ned
Hall
Beatty did all
of
the heavy
Evil,
lifting.
where they're doing the like, okay, I need you to kill Superman, like, you know, behind the there's like the rock wall, and they're in the big table with the fancy chairs.
May I help you? I understand you face a little threat from this American president.
Kind of looks like where the evil people meet in Toxic Avenger.
Boss, we can't kill him.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's like something like this movie was done on no budget, so I'm like, I imagine a trauma movie could have also used the exact same place.
Like literally, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Quite literally.
Well,
Like,
as far
it
as
comes with the
sets
chairs.
go, I think, you know, with $3 million, right? So your locations are great. Your makeup is way above average, I think, for your budget.
Of course.
The actors that you got, you know, you didn't get the biggest names, but you got competent people. I think Ronnie Cox is great and Ed Beatty's great. I think Matt Salinger, like I said, did a good enough job as a Steve Rogers. I think the guy Scott Pollan, the guy that got to play Red Skull, if they gave him a little bit more, like, I don't know, less, like, that's not where you want your comedy from. You want like a goofy sidekick. Give it all to the girl, right? Like that's what she's supposed to be there for. He's not. He's supposed to be fucking gross and menacing and just like uber Nazi. That's what you should have had, that, not giving one-liners. So, you know, they made the most what they could. I think it was just in the writing, and I don't know if that's all Albert Pune's fault. Who wrote this? It was story by Stephen Tolkien, Larry Block, Lawrence Block. I don't know who those.
That's J.R.R.'s son.
What the
fuck? It's a Tolkien.
So, did you see
how common
who
of a name
was
that is.
slated to potentially be Captain America?
Uh-oh.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington. You knew. Yeah.
I could have fucked pretty hard.
Cause I'm gonna burn this motherfucker down. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
No. Arnold Schwarzenegger was up for the role.
I don't do requests.
But because of his voice, he couldn't do it. Dolph Lundgren was up to be our Captain America.
These shitheads. Yellow traitoring motherfuckers.
But was unfortunately busy filming The Punisher.
The Punisher,
Another
yeah,
Marvel
sure.
movie.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I also have fond memories of.
Oh, love that Punisher, yeah.
I don't know that.
There's a few others, but those are the ones that I would have been like, oh, that could have been really fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Because I don't know at the time how they would have filmed the before and after with Arnold. It would have been like, he's a fat guy. Put him in a baggy outfit. Oh, look, he's all ripped now. Like,
I've been pushing too many pencils.
Because even in this, the like transformation, it's they kind of had it. I don't know. It's obviously nothing compared to the Chris Evans transformation,
That was,
because
right,
that
they've done
might
that-
be very difficult to do. I think they could have if they really put effort into it by getting a smaller person and like some convenient head angles and weird stuff. But with what they had and what they did,
I think honestly, like it's okay not to explain everything or have everything be so. People used to watch plays, right? I hear they still do sometimes. It doesn't have to be exactly the thing. Because I kind of liked that, how it was sort of understated there, where like he's just kind of limping but not really, and then it's very subtle. He just gets up to help someone and accidentally breaks the like restraints.
Yeah.
They just pop like they're made of like Play-Doh or something, and I'm like, oh, it worked, right? Like the audience should just naturally get that, you know. And
I
not
have
need
a
whole
theory.
fucking show.
I think our Italian scientist lady might have been getting high on her own supply, because she seemingly jumped out of a 100-foot window. And then maybe swam to America. I'm not sure how that went down, but I think she might have had a little taste. I think she
That would
might
have
have had a
been
little
great.
taste.
I swam to him, just seaweed on her. Ugh. and before she jumps, she's like, and then jumps out of the window. They're like,
Any good chef is going to taste the recipe before you hand it out. So I mean, that makes sense.
right?
That checks out. Man, you just saying about Punisher and how that was like close. They didn't put Red Skull in this. They put fucking Jigsaw in this. Like, that guy would have made a perfect Jigsaw. Like,
Wait. Listen to me.
No time, Flyboy.
like he even got the makeup in half of the movie.
Kinda.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
See, Lee's high as a kite.
Jesus, Lee. You're high on your own supply right now.
Oh my god. Okay. I like your take on that. I feel like he should have been, Steve Rogers, should have been like, what? What is this? I don't get your jokes. And like, he could have been awkward, corn-fed, whatever guy, and then have everyone else stay like serious. But the whole movie gets goofy when he's, takes the lead role. I think that, like that's a mistake. It would have been funnier if he was
the movie
like,
gets goofy around him.
Gee Willikers, I don't know what you mean. It's like they're going to kill us. It's like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like it has like because he never
It's
even
just a
got his
little
training.
funny. Exactly. Him
Like,
not having been trained.
Zero.
They gave him that shield today.
You all right with that there shield?
Could use a little more time to practice. Like about a month.
And like, how you doing with that shield, son? Well, I would have liked some more
heavy.
training. You didn't have any. He throws that motherfucker and takes down like a machine gun nest at like, oh! Like it just like topples it. You're like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this?
I wouldn't
shield?
trade that scene for the world, though.
No,
It's
God, no.
it's awesome, but he looks at his shield like, oh yeah, my shield. I mean, I could use it like a frisbee. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, at least in like the like modern MCU first Avenger, he is in the military and has presumably been like thinking about these things for many years.
Like for years, yeah.
Yes. So like, once he has the like tools to implement his ideas, he can go nuts or whatever. Here it was like, I don't know, right? There's no. Also, they cut away. It's like Martin Luther King Jr. is on the screen, and I'm like, wait, how old is this guy? Like mentally, is he going to say something problematic? And then it like cuts away, so like you don't see what he says, and it cuts back, and he's
That
like,
was
it's
a
all
thought,
true.
too.
Freedom is good. Bad
I do
stuff's
love
bad.
that they clock like he's in the Volkswagen. He's like, German car, obviously
Exactly.
a spy.
That's good.
That's like
I like
10
that
out
a
of
lot.
10. That's like a huge high point. It was it was the first I'm gonna puke when he's like, I'm
Yeah,
not
I was-
listening to this guy anymore.
I was just going to say,
because
Lee,
he's
how do they
obviously
pay
a
that
traitor.
off, though, in a I'm going to puke joke?
That's okay.
But-
I jest, but yeah.
Like Lee says, how that sticks in your memory. I have such positive memories of like, pull over. I think I'm gonna be sick.
Right.
Would you pull the car over, please? I think I'm going to be sick.
What?
And then
No,
his
I
little,
do
like,
too. I was
gotta
like,
run
I'm-
and steal the fat guy's car.
Hold it!
I was like, I'm gonna use that if I ever need to use that. I have it.
Right.
In my, I was like, let's take that. Just in case. I've never had to use it.
So
But
he
I'm
save
like,
your
tries to
life
use it
one
one
day.
day. The person runs to the car in front of you, like, damn it.
fuck. Yeah.
When she's like, get out, I'm gonna save you now, and like drives, and then just drives right into the enemies. I'm like, go off the road. This isn't your car. They're gonna kill you potentially. Do whatever you have to do to not die. What are you doing?
And they're all
roll.
like, they all
Yeah.
like stopped their cars, got off in like a supervillain pose, too. They had all that
They're like
time.
Negan's men. They're like, come on, bitch.
We got him. There's only one road between here and everywhere, and we're gonna be posted up on it.
How did they get around the blockade? Yeah.
You were the little boy.
You mean you were the little boy?
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
It's you, little boy. And then it cuts to like the credits, little boy. It's like
That's like the Italian family. Oh, we did buy this house 40 years ago. I think we saved a recorder in the basement, maybe.
Forse adesso ha trovato la risposta.
Oh, look.
What is that?
It's a wire recorder. I used to have one of these when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That could have been that could have been a good joke though, because he would have been like, your little boy. And he's like, oh, but he's really talking about the rocket, because that was the rocket that, went off in Hiroshima. Not too soon.
No, John, you've been canceled.
Okay.
Oh, Fat Man and Little Boy. Okay.
Fat
that
Man
was
and Little
too-
Boy.
No, that required outside knowledge. I only know what was in this film. I don't know
Hey,
anything else.
it would have been a joke.
Would have been a timely cutting
Yikes.
satire.
When Ronnie Cox confronts that general who's like, been like Benedict Arnolding this whole time, and he's like, you're not going to squirm out of this one. And the general's like, really?
I don't think you're going to be able to squirm out of this one. Really?
Why did he cut off his own hand? That was so silly.
He didn't do it on purpose, you jerk. He tried to cut off Captain America's hand, and Captain America went, not my hand, and moved.
Two can travel cheaply as one, you sick bastard. Now stop the launch. Stop it or I'm taking you with me.
And then he cut off his own hand.
You know how hard you have to try to, like, okay, like you feel a knife and you're like, ow, oh my God, I cut myself.
He was
all the way through.
He was attempting to literally cut off Cap's hand.
Yeah.
But Cap moved at the last second. And
Falling hand!
And he cut off his hand, so he was swinging. He's a super fucking soldier, John.
But his other arm is also super soldier, you asshole.
He's only 19.
Yeah, it healed. He didn't bleed to death.
Powerful.
It didn't heal. He had the Dr. Evil.
It didn't
like,
regrow.
arm.
He's not a fucking lizard. It healed in a stump.
There's several scenes where he has hands.
I am only a humble businessman who doubles in science.
He
Yeah,
should have had
robotic hands, you can
a
see the
skull
line.
or a skeleton hand. That would have been sick.
Yeah, he should have had some sort of like, as you can see, the serum has some side effects, and then like,
Not this
that's
fucking
my
like.
hand at all.
Yeah, the side effects are you might get the spins when he gets Hadoukened off a cliff by a shield.
Speak for yourself.
Side effect. I'm now.
Or his dummy
I'm
will.
Bull.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that dummy spins in the most beautiful way.
So good.
I love that scene so much. The only thing I did wonder was, I'm like, that was a risky ass move.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not really established. Am I holding the button that is getting ready to be able to pushed, or is this thing gonna go off? And he doesn't say like, oh yes, if I knock him over into the cliff, this bomb won't hurt people. He says this bomb will kill 70 million people.
70 million lives out like brief candles.
This is gonna kill this whole area of Europe for 100 years, give or take a decade.
All of Southern Europe will be off limits for, say, about a century and a half. Give or take a decade or two.
He can't even just list a country, let alone like a neighborhood. He just says southeastern Europe. He has to be like a whole region.
Latveria.
He's like, where are we filming again?
Yeah.
It's probably because they didn't know.
It was I liked it. I took it as like that thing was actual, like the actual bomb, because it was a wraparound. Maybe I'm giving this fucking movie too much credit. Probably am, but it's just like the first bomb is an actual rocket. Nowadays, it's this little device. And the way it popped up, and it's made of like other, unfamiliar material. I kind of like that. I like the technology part of that, where I thought it was just
villain bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
but it looked like it was
James
counting
Bond kind of
down.
shit. Yeah.
And at the very least, even if it wasn't counting down to actually explode, it was counting down to let him be able to push the button. Falling off a cliff is a high likelihood that a button could get suppressed. It's almost a 50-50. And
those buttons are pretty
still
big.
in his hand when he's getting knocked over. He could be like, I'm dying, and just like hit the button.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. You're literally dying.
I also thought it was amazing because when he first throws the shield at Red Skull, right at that finale, he throws it differently. He's using like an overhanded. I don't have anything. He throws
like
it
a
like
hammer
this.
throw. Yeah.
Yeah. So then Red Skull's like, "Fuck you, no," and just moves out of the way slightly. And in my head, I was like, "Oh, he boomeranged it. He fucking put some English on it with that weird throw." And he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Red Skull," because now they've been talking for 30 seconds. He's like, "Look behind you." It's like, ding, and it just hits him. I'm like, "Yes," but instead they just show it clattering down the stairs all sadly, and I'm like, "Oh, these people suck." Whatever. Then 3 minutes later, that exact thing happens to the chick.
Heads up.
Where it's a boomerang and it comes and hits her. And I'm like,
Heads up.
But the way it comes right back to him always made me think it cut her head off.
No resistance.
Because he still catches him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then wipes off all the blood. Ew. His brain.
Well,
on
it's
his thing.
spinning so fast, the blood just comes off itself.
Centrifugal
force.
That's
Oh,
American
yeah.
ingenuity at its best.
That's right.
Made by an Italian.
They thought
Not
of
saying
everything.
it, and this is like Halloween
Howard
plastic
Stark.
because it's not vibranium. They never set it up that it's like the second strongest material known to the multiverse. It's just
Something
like
else from her diary, though.
It's still a
magic.
secret compound that only she knows what it is.
Sure. And it's just like it's so quaint. It made me like really nostalgic for movies of this era because in the new Chris Evans newer Chris Evans Captain America movies, it's like every time he throws that shield, it's literally bouncing, and that's why it comes back, or he sets it up in a certain way where the kinetics and all that and the physics like actually makes sense in a way. It's still a superhero movie, but in a way it makes sense. Or this one's just like, I love, movies from this era because they gave zero fucks. They're just like, he throws it, it comes back. He throws it, it comes back. It will take out a whole guard tower, but it comes back at full speed. It's just like, who the fuck cares? I love it. It's so quaint. You can't get away with this shit anymore, but it just made me so fond of this. It was just like that's the superhero aspect of it. Not, nowadays we're just like, we're going to explain every little thing, even if we're not telling you about it by, just the sheer physics of it, showing it, okay, yeah, that makes sense that it would pop back that way. Now, this movie's just like, fuck it. Just, you're here to eat popcorn and look at this guy with fucking ears on the side of his head.
Yeah.
And I'm all out of ears on the side of my head.
The movie's full of unbelievable things. You have a woke, intelligent, forward-thinking president.
Environmental guidelines stand as written, and I don't think you or the Pentagon have enough senators in your pocket to change them.
You
Love
have
it. Yeah.
It's crazy.
The ability to find anybody on Earth at any time. Like, that reporter's like, he's in Alaska, and then finds him in Canada.
Two people, the helicopter
We have him spotted below.
and Ned Beatty. Yeah, to find him. Just, why not?
There's only 3 people. It makes it seem like the world is the Grand Theft Auto 3 map, where it's like, yeah, like in 3 minutes, I can circle the whole thing. I'll find you.
Yeah, it's so like from like Alaska to Canada is like 20 minutes. They've like short. It's like
He walks it, no problem. He walks
He
it.
runs for a wide margin.
I'm a little dehydrated, but I'm okay. Yeah, it's like.
Wherever I am, home's gotta be south of here.
It would have been great, like when they cut him like walking through Redondo Beach or wherever, if he's wearing like a bear skin or something, like something to show that he went through some shit, because that is quite a jaunt, but it doesn't.
Or
He
yeah,
has
he
a
should
few
have like a
nicks and
mustache.
cuts on his suit.
Something.
He doesn't even have a fucking 5 o'clock shadow. He got there
That's
like
true.
by noon.
Well, they froze the follicles, you see, John.
That's the farthest from the heart. It
If
takes
we
them the
cut
longest
back
wake up.
to when he got the serum and the deep electrocution, that's like that electrolysis stuff that just gets rid of all the hair forever. It's
So
like a
Captain
laser
America
treatment.
is dolphin smooth from that point forward.
Well, it makes him more aerodynamic.
Yeah, it's the
That's
most
true.
underrated
it
part
makes
of his
sense.
power. People say the strategy or the the healing factor or something, but no.
Didn't touch the golden locks,
That.
but his
No, of
pubes are
course not.
gone. Yeah.
For America.
Everything from the nose down.
Hang on, Karen. This fight's got no brakes.
It's so funny that Red Skull was 19 in that first scene. That's so stupid. He looks like older than he is.
Do you think I could be president of the United States someday?
4 years later. I don't know,
Red
know how
Skull
you
even
stay so
leans up to
young.
his like Russian-looking friends, and he's like, "Pity him. He is like a child." And I'm like, "You are actually a child."
You are way younger than him. Yeah.
Pity him. He is like a child.
Does he fuck the granddaughter?
Oh,
I don't think he does.
We can't. They will though. Oh my god.
Right? Yeah.
Any second.
Eventually.
Okay, we can't go back and like insert this, but when he explodes out of the block of ice, I wrote down, he says Nazis like a zombie would say brains and walks out of the tent.
Nazis.
He's like, Nazis, and like walks out.
They take his picture as he's walking like he's Bigfoot. But then when you cut to the picture, he's like looking right at the camera. I'm like, that's not what he was doing
like
when you took that picture.
It's like a headshot, yeah.
I want to re-AD. I want to take all the dialogue out of this movie, and I want to re-ADR everything. And I think it would just be insane. Like, we could really make this like just
Captain America has a
crazy.
lisp.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I think that's all we have to say about Captain America. In like, summation here, I love this movie. I think it's totally worth seeing. I think everyone should check it out. Guys, would you say thumbs up on this?
It's fine. Don't watch it. It's bad, but it's fine. It's fine. That it exists is fine.
I would say double thumbs up. This is amazing. I love everything about this movie.
For a movie that's like a very low budget movie, this isn't crazy short. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. Like, it doesn't just skirt being a full feature length movie. This is a real fucking movie. Again, high praise. John, you have pleased me with your liking of the movie, so I'm going to say, give us some plugs. Tell the people where they can find you.
Pew pew. Yes, you could find me at my secret lair over on the YouTubes on the They Said We Said channel, where we're pretty much just doing the cult of films. So we just talk about cultish films. Maybe not as bad as Captain America, but maybe not so far off either. So yeah, find me there or something, or don't. I don't fucking care.
Wonderful. Tell the people to fuck off, John.
Fuck off.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
As long as we're in the neighborhood, what do you say we drop in?
I always did want to meet the president.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion.